Good evening. This is Duane Lowry for the DPP Grain Desk on Monday, May 28th, with the holiday delayed Sunday night commentary now on Monday night. The outlook for tonight looks like we're going to start lower based on weather. It's not so much based on weather activity of the weekend. Weekend precip was maybe in line with expectations. Certainly provided some beneficial moisture to the northwestern part of the Midwest. Other areas didn't receive that much for precip, and there could possibly be some disappointment associated with the past week activity during the weekend. But this week's outlook and the 6 to 15 day period outlook is for mostly cool temperatures, mostly non-threatening temperatures, and improved moisture prospects from what we had in Friday's outlook. So I think we're going to be lower here tonight on weather. Outside markets are getting a boost from polls in Greece that indicate the pro-austerity parties are gaining support, which the global investors is taking as a good sign that Greece will continue to commit to and honor their agreements on the financial rescue packages that have been set forth over the last several months. That will create some ease, and global stock markets have rebounded here early this week off of that news and positive development from what it appears to be the polls for a vote that takes place around the middle of June. So some support there, but I don't think it's a factor on the grain trade here tonight. I think we're mostly talking about weather, and I think in relationship to what weather was focused on Friday, weather will probably get a bearish spin. The question is this going to be a, it's all over? Last week's initial rally was the end of our summer weather rallies, and will the market quickly perceive everything is okay and start to focus on harvest time economics and fundamental scenarios if we have a good crop? I doubt if that is the case. I doubt if last week's high was our summer price peak, and I certainly have probably one of the more bearish attitudes towards eventual new crop prices, but that doesn't mean we have to get there in the month of May or even in the first part of June. So I think that for tonight here, the wheat market's going to find support not too far below last week's lows, which will limit downside potential there. I think the intermarket spread traders might initially see row crop weakness in relationship to wheat weakness, but I think anything that saw wheat gain on corn or gain on row crops initially this week based on weather, I think the intermarket spreaders are looking for a place to be long corn and sell wheat again. Wheat harvest is just ahead, limiting rally potentials there. Any weather focus from here forward is most likely going to be dominated by row crops, not wheat. So I think that the wheat market has the potential of finding selling this week from intermarket spreaders. It's possible that wheat market will find flat price spreaders on easing fears of row crop support, and people may feel it's safe to go ahead and sell wheat in anticipation of an approaching harvest. Possibly, I'm not sure how that works from a flat price standpoint. I think I'm more inclined to believe that wheat finds support not too far below last week's lows and has limited downside potential here this week from a flat price perspective. As far as corn and beans are concerned, row crop weather should be set the tone initially on the defensive. Support in corn is probably going to be found near, not too far below last week's lows, implying weakness in corn more than a dime from where we finished Friday probably isn't likely to be too severe. The recent lows is about 20 cents below Friday's close. I don't think we're going to challenge that based on what I see for a weather forecast here tonight. As far as soybeans are concerned, recent lows were almost 40 cents above recent lows. Certainly have some vulnerability to weather-related weakness here tonight. Right or wrong, traders have a bullish attitude towards beans overall. They believe that last week's lows represent prices that probably don't offer much for downside price risk. I think to the extent that it doesn't offer much downside price risk at this time, I think is probably a legitimate statement. I don't necessarily agree with that statement in terms of an ultimate harvest low type of price range parameters. I think there is more downside potential than what we saw last week. Technical buying interest in wheat probably at least 20-30 cents below where we finished on Friday. Do I think we have that much weakness potential early this week? I'm not sure. Maybe there's 20 cents here. I don't know. I don't. The weather is going to give it a bearish slant, but I don't know that that's the only factor here. And I think you've got longer-term buying interest that wants to be involved with the long side of bean market above the recent lows. So look for some weakness here to start out. Market may stay on the defensive tonight and much of tomorrow. But I think by the time we get towards Wednesday, I think you're going to have technical conditions encouraging people to look for buying opportunities. And I think the market will discount the bearish aspects of the current forecast by tomorrow's trade. And I wouldn't be surprised we're set up for, changing weather themes on a day-to-day basis from there forward. For the DPP Grain Desk, it's been Duane Lowry. Thank you.